Beauty at its finest.
Stay tuned for our next scheduled program.
This channel and I do not claim any right over any of the graphics, images, songs used in this video. All rights reserved to the respective copyright owners.
Subscribe now our YouTube channel and press bell icon.
Good afternoon, and how are you this afternoon? Welcome once again to Tenny Miller Live and Direct. And live and direct means live and direct, eh? What can I tell you? And I'm not live and direct from yard, but me there. So live and direct from, yeah, whatever. We won't get into that. So how are you? What's been happening in your neck of the woods? It's always a pleasure to be here with you on an afternoon like this, when you know you're full of love and goodwill. You say, furthermore, I adore everybody, but it's just that I can't invite them to dine because I can't afford the wine. And TC not going to pay the bill. But for this afternoon, we're going to look at a couple of things and, you know, share some thoughts and ideas on them and to see what's going on out there, not just in your neck of the woods, but what's going across the country and across the world. And how are we all preparing ourselves to deal with it? Just want to say a special welcome to our friends on WBIG radio station here at 95.9. That's WBIG 95.9 here in South Florida. That's WBIG, and I want to say welcome to you. And I just want to advise the listeners on WBIG that I might be here with you on a Thursday afternoon as well. So we do a simulcast. So what's going on? First of all, I just want to say we are thankful for being alive and for being here. A lot of things could have happened, and a lot of things are happening. Sorry, but we have to give thanks for life and being alive. Somebody asked me, say, Mr. Miller, we see you having beard. And your face look like bush tiger. And I said, well, you know, sometimes you have to mix it up and change it up and twist it up, you know, and get something new and different going. But, you know, next time you see me, you never know what I might look like, eh? I guess I'm evolving. There's a couple of things that on my plate. But before I get into that, I just want to also remind you that the IRAMA Music Award is on. So IRAMA is on for the the 26th. And of course on the 30th, is it? Let me check my notes here. International Phone has now established a South Florida chapter of IRAMA. We're good. They're having a press conference next week Wednesday, I think, on the 26th. And at that press conference, they'll be giving outline as to what the music award is all about. Some of the persons who are getting awards, like Oliver Samuels and I think Marcia Griffiths, and quite a number of other persons, and, you know, giving thanks and, you know, congratulating them for the kind of a work that they've been doing over the years and their level of achievement. So we're going to be joining them on the red carpet and to see how we can talk to some of them about their journey. And on this journey, just to find out, you know, what it has been like for them and the challenges which some of them, a lot of them have gone through in order to make it to where they are. Because a lot of people feel that to be a good reggae artist and a good performer, it's something where you just get up and do because you can just get up and do it. But it takes courage, strength, it takes discipline, it takes a deep understanding and confidence in yourself to be able to do it. But it's not impossible. It can be done. If you want to do it, and if you have the will and the discipline to be consistent, then definitely you'll make it. Definitely make it. So, Rama is on, and it is a Sunday the 30th, I think. Yes. It is on Sunday the 30th. So, tune into Flexx TV online, FLEXXFM.online TV, and tune into the show. You never know, you might just see me. And you might see me in another, you know, profile. What can I tell you? You know, but we'll see what happens. But we promise it's going to be, it's on pay-per-view as well, and we're asking you to tune in and subscribe and take in the show. It promises to be an awesome show. An awesome show. So please, you can't afford not to tune in or not to be there. And if you know it's on the screen, the information is on the screen to tell you what, when, where, how, and why we are having it. It's also going to be broadcast live on, I think, YouTube. But certainly we're going to be having it on pay-per-view. So tune in and make yourself available to see that. And to participate. And to big up some of those people who are getting their awards. Okay. I notice in the media that a lot of people, well, put it this way, since the advent of the man for his second journey into the political management and economic management of this country, we find that a lot of things has been happening. He has brought in a whole lot of people. He has approached his business of governance and management of the country in a different way. He's working with some persons that are not part of the usual crowd that one would expect. And he are working with a whole lot of big, rich business people who are very big donors to the campaign. Because they had like $1 billion and something for them campaign. So, and the people who therefore provided all of this funding and this money are now part of his inner cabinet to advise and to carry out some aspects of responsibility for the administration of the country. But the people who voted, and who voted with some thought that the kind of a management that is going to be experiencing is something that is going to benefit the average man on the chichi bus, average man on the hand cart, ordinary workers, the blue collar workers, the ordinary workers in this country are now getting up to a rude awakening, because the man is even going and seemed to be going far beyond what he indicated that he would have been doing as far as his administration work is concerned. And he is moving at such a warp speed in implementing some of the things that he's implementing. recently some Venezuelan alleged criminals, some of whom were not tried and proven, but they were just in custody, were deported. And in such a haste to upstage a decision from the court as to how they should have been treated legally and lawfully. And when you have a political administration that is moving their business at such reckless speed and things that has to do with people's lives, whether they're a criminal or not, everybody is deserving a just day in court to prove their innocence or guilt. And it was moving at such a hastily disgraceful pace. You understand that, you know, some things are fishy and some things are happening. So it is alleged that some of those people who were sent to, was it El Salvador or somewhere else, their rights were breached. And the court has issued an order for them to come back. But then you get the feelings that the man and the people them say them not pay the court order no mind, and them have technicality why it ought not to be. And then I understand that the man even made a comment. No, I never heard. It's alleged that the judge who made the ruling need to be impeached. Now, I don't know if any of you understand what's happening, you know, but that's a dangerous thing, you know. That is very, very dangerous. Because when a political leader in any country feel that he is above the law and above the courts, so him can say and do anything that he pleases, and ought to get away with it, something is wrong. That man, that leader, is border on being a dictator. Border and being. And all of us need to watch carefully what is happening. But, you know, I was talking to somebody this morning, and the person said to me, say, but nobody not saying anything, and everybody just sit down and roll over and I play dead. And another person says, this was like about 3 of us right there, says, well, if some people are in the man's pocket, if he has some control over some of the people there, most of the people in Congress and in the Senate, then he can feel free to do anything and get away with it because nobody will oppose him. So, all things being equal for him, he will just behave like a runaway train and do what he has to do and what he wants to do without any fear of being stopped or challenged. Because a clear demonstration of that, which tells you that despite all the talk that the Democrats are talking, all of them have fingers at the same hand. All of them are fingers at the same hand. The one that everybody thought would have been a rescue or a person who helped to save the day, Chuck Schumer. I miss it, that's why I'm named Chuck Schumer. So like a shuffler. Chuck Schumer, as a leader of the Democratic caucus, in the House, was supposed to take a position and lead his other members into taking a position in making the government shut down, so they can challenge what the man is doing in terms of how he's administering affairs, and let him know that it's not business as usual and you're doing some things that you are not consulting us on, and some things which are in actual fact and in essence running counter to the law and the regulations and what normal procedures are supposed to be. And so Schumer vacillate. Him come before the nation with some like a full argument. Oh, when you have to take some very much decisions. Like I must say 30 years Chuck Schumer inside of the parliament and of the house and so. So him know all of the gym screech and the gymnastic and the gymnastics. So when him come out now like a virgin, come talk about all of these and tie up himself in the web of laws and regulations. Part of the trickery. He dare not challenge Donald Trump. He dare not block the government because obviously Donald Trump would have done something to him or him owe Donald Trump, so therefore him have to deliver. And the head of the Democratic caucus, not showing good leadership, allow Donald Trump to go through, let the prevent the shutdown of the government. So if the Democrats who were there willing to challenge the process had no real power or anything because them leader that them a depend upon dash with the ball or drop the ball and come up with some like a monkey story like himself. So you know that them not have no like to stand on. So all Chuck Schumer say is that go on Donald, go on. And Donald will run with it. No wonder why I was able to say deport those Venezuelans and you never know what else he's likely to be doing. Because he's not telescoping his punches. You just wake up each morning to a different rule, a different executive order. He's ruling by decree, as declared by me, Almighty Trump, or Donald, the son of Almighty Trump. Here's fourth and forever say that so and so must happen or not happen, and it just done and nobody not challenge him. If they come for the people them from El Salvador in the morning, they're going to come for the rest of us at night. And what we're going to do, and if you don't organize yourself to prepare for a shutdown of this country, you see if the Democrats not organized with them because of what is happening, things are likely to reach a standstill after a time. Because the man is running at this disgracefully hasty speed with the things that he's doing. And if they allow that to happen, Dagnam will suffer later on. I mean, just a warning and just a tell you, so prepare for what is to come. We're on Flexx TV and also on WBIG Radio. I'm your host, Roy Tenny Miller. Beg your partner, and the program is Tenny Miller Live. Now, accompanying the man is one of the richest men in the world who I am bosom friend, the man who buy him. The man buy him like a common, like you buy bread, buy rose. The man buy the president of the United States. To the point where him have the president of the United States like a common little kiss cheapskate, hurry come up, used car salesman. I advertise him car them at the White House. So the White House is reduced to a common car lot. A little kiss me ass cheap car lot. Where some people even go buy the car. That is what is taking place at the White House. Now, when the rest of the world, in Europe, Africa, Australia, when people see that taking place at the White House, and the president, like a common little calmy dog, run up and down for kiss Tesla man, Elon Musk, you know where you're going to. It's an indication that America, the United States, the bastion of democracy, allegedly, is going down the tubes fast without brakes. It just a go down reckless, it just a go on so. And just give it some time before it crash. So the Tesla friend I ball out because people never vote for him. Yesterday he's given a carte blanche authority to almost do what he wants to do. Cut this here, cut that here. Here a cut, there a cut, everywhere a cut. And then when I use? Him I use chainsaw. But him show us, him tell us, and that is what is happening. So I hear people are taking some kind of actions in their own hand in terms of how they're treating with some of his assets and his businesses across the states and across other parts of the world. I can contribute to that. I can't say anything to that. We just tune in and listen to what happens over the next couple of weeks or couple of months. Because if he continues with that kind of a disposition, there are people who will only continue to treat him and his things in the same way or worse. I'm not saying anything to enhance anybody's reaction of retribution. Elon Musk put himself in the position willingly or in pay for the opportunity by the amount of money we get the man for run the election. So he bought his way into the White House, lock, stock and barrel, and pay for it. And therefore, given responsibility, he will choosing to do what he wants to do with the power and the opportunity that is afforded him. That, but then he paid for. The question is, what are the other companies that he has and doing business, the space network and other places? What kind of money he's making from those places and how it benefits him and his other millionaire friends in the short and the long term? Because that is something that we should check out and see what's happening, because it's very serious. But what I know and what I hear is that some things are happening so vulgar, that they make your stomach curdle. And it's being done by somebody who has never been a candidate, he never faced the electorate. And the man who faced the electorate turned over power of the country in the hands of this other man. So this man is free to do anything he wants to do. Plus, if I forget FBI protection too, army protection and all of them big tip there. Can you imagine a soldier and police in yard and a guarding son and a guarding wife and 6 or 11 picking them? I get guard from security forces. That means and 1 or 2 bodyguard them have a whole heap. Plus them are not only a guard him yard, them are guard all the dog in yard. Because they are no privileged dogs and they can't to have them facing any arrest. But that is part of the dilemma that we face, and we're going to continue part of this discussion when we come back. We're going to go to a break. When we come back from the break, we want to look at a little bit of that, and then we're going to take a trip down to Jamaica because it's budget time. And budget a read. And when budget a read, say, enough things will come out of the woodwork, like Chichi. So, not going away. Catch all of you listeners in WBIG and on Flexx TV. Stick and stay, don't go away. We'll be right back with you after these messages.
Save the date. The 42nd Irama Awards is back and better than ever. Sunday, March 30th, 2025 at the Coral Springs Center for the Arts, 2855 Coral Springs, Florida. Don't worry if you can't be there, you can watch it on pay-per-view. Just
Hi, I'm Amy Flexx with Flexx TV, and I am here to tell you about our pay-per-view service we now offer. Pay-per-view streaming has helped many creators ranging from event promoters, sporting events, and concerts, from all industries to monetize their content.
You may be wondering why choose pay-per-view. Well, I am here to tell you for one. You are in control of how much you can charge your customer per click, if priced right. You can win big with pay-per-view. We also offer on-demand, which can be another way to profit from your event.
So, what are you waiting for? Call us at the number below or email us at flexfm@gmail.com and let us help you reach a broader audience globally.
Flexx TV would like to thank you for your continued support. It is greatly appreciated. Flexx TV, your #1 television station.
Attention business owners. Are you ready to maximize your tax deductions and take full advantage of every credit available to you?
Look no further than BMG Tax and Accounting Services, your trusted partner in Tamarack, Florida. With over 35 years of expertise, Nigel Blair is here to handle all your business needs. From bookkeeping to tax preparation, we provide the personalized care and attention your business deserves.
Don't let opportunities slip away. Contact BMG Tax and Accounting Services today. Call 954-289-6005. That's 954-289-6005. BMG Tax and Accounting Services, experience you can trust, results you can count on.
Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. Harriet Tubman is known for guiding enslaved people to freedom, the Underground Railroad.
Welcome back. The program is Tenny Miller Live, and just want to welcome back all our friends at WBIG Radio. Just want to say thank you for tuning in and listening in. I know you have a choice in listenership, so we are pleased and privileged when you choose to listen to us here at Flexx FM, Flexx Radio, Flexx TV, and WBIG Radio. Thank you for joining us. Just want to remind you again that there's a press conference on this afternoon, you know. The press conference is on this afternoon regarding this International Reggae and World Music Award thing, IRAMA. And the press conference is at the Island Space Caribbean Museum at 800 West Broward Boulevard, Unit 1202. That's inside the Broward Mall, of course. So you're invited to stop in at the press conference if you like, so you can get a full update as to what's happening with this international award show. It's on. It is the 42nd annual International Reggae and World Music Award, IRAMA. 42nd staging, and that is going to be on Sunday the 30th. But on Wednesday afternoon, this afternoon at 6 p.m. there's a press conference where they will be outlining the details of what's going to take place, how it's going to take place, who are the special guests, who are getting some of the special awards, the nature and the type of awards that are being handed out, and and name some of the recipients for these awards. So that's at the press conference this evening at Island Space, and that is scheduled to begin sometime at about 6 o'clock this afternoon. So you want to stop in by and get some first-hand information so you can know how to treat with the show on the 30th. And of course, remember, it's going to be on pay-per-view, so make sure so you have your money papers to pay for a view. Okay? Have your paper money to pay for a view, basically. All right. I wanted to speak to a little bit about what's happening in Jamaica. What's happening in Jamaica. And I'm not going to talk about the argument about how Brogan has still not yet taken a position on the issue between Cuba, the State Department's ultimatum given to Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean islands. The woman with the biggest balls in the Caribbean, Mayor Motley, who make the rest of the Prime Minister them in the Caribbean look like wimps, like they were whipped. And it's such an embarrassment and a disgrace. One woman from a country that have 500,000 people make the rest of the Caribbean people them look like school children playing with them first chemistry set. Set up. What can I tell you? It's embarrassing. But it reminds me of when, granted, Jamaica paid the price for it. But in these days and time, when you have principles, you sometimes can't compromise your principles. Michael Manley said, nobody's going to tell him who to have friends with and who not to have friends with. And so did Mandela. And he outlined that friendship with Cuba was part of a world alliance of nations who are struggling, third world and third world nations, who are struggling to provide for their population that elect them and put them in office. And they have to make decisions based on the instructions from those electorates. Beg your pardon, forgive me. The electorates gave them a mandate and they were following it. And he said they can't tell him who to talk to. And his decision to meet and to greet and to talk to Fidel Castro, and not just them, but other countries in the region, as part of that alliance of third world countries, was for the sake of finding common ground so that they can survive and work together and live together and help each other. Jamaica got schools and facilities and all of that from Cuba. Them get GC Foster and other facilities, as I mentioned sometime before. And you can count on one hand with Uncle Sam Gale. But because you are within the sphere of what they want to consider their political dominance, their strategic dominance to how they will be able to fight or deal with things in other parts of the world, they want us in the Caribbean to now subjugate ourselves to their ruling, to their instructions, and follow them and say, oh yes, dear God Almighty of the United States, anything thou sayest we shall follow. So Marco Rubio, as his name, the Secretary who is of State, who's in a bad state, because he's another one. He's saying that countries of the Caribbean have to give up their relationship with Cuba. Now, when you move them doctors and nurses, as I said before, doctors and nurses are out of Jamaica and other parts of the Caribbean, what are you going to have? Because America is not going to send nurses and doctors and down there. If you come work and if you take care of the sick and the indigent and the elderly and if disease broke out, send you the right medication and things to come down here to do what it needs to be done. So that's one story. Now, if you notice, on my side, you have an ad, a promotional ad running on the first ever female Minister of Finance in Jamaica, Flavor Williams. And I must big her up and congratulate her. She's trained in accounting and accounts management. And you see our boss, Brogard, because they have opened the budget debate presentation and make a presentation on what they think will happen to the country and for the country. And they gave a whole layout of the fiscal and physical and capital expenditure to take place. Houses and other things to come. Jobs that are supposed to be coming on stream. Technology that we're supposed to be unfolding, and the opportunities that are going to be available to workers at the workplace and to the population as a whole, and of course what they plan to do for education and the works. And that was nicely outlined. But it is outlined at a time when the country is going into an election. And when you're going into election, most governments, both sides do it, they always come to the fore, come to the people with a very nice worked out plan, or it looks like a plan of what they will do, and they give you all sorts of argument and story about we're going to be doing this and we're going to be putting so many children through education in school, we're going to increase the PATH program, we're going to be doing this, and we are going to be, and it's a lot of we are going to be, and so far we have so and so and so, but we intend to do, and we are going to be doing, and we start doing, and give us some time, we'll be through, and all of those are promises. Promises. And they did it before in the last budget. And half of what was promised in the last budget have not yet realized. And we're going into another budget here now. And then promising some of the same things. What was interesting on Thursday, I beg your pardon, on Tuesday, was that the opposition Mark Golden gave a very detailed, thought out, articulate, and insightful budget presentation. Very impressive, very detailed. And look at some of what the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance said and checkmate them on it and call them out on some things. But he made some very interesting and realistic presentations to the nation. Again, this was made against the background of the fact that it's an election year. It is also the year when the results are now being counted in terms of the performance of the government. So the government is now being assessed, not only because of the year that has passed, but then 4-year term. So given assessing them based upon what them saying in the parliament, and you're looking also at what they have been doing, how effective and far-reaching it has been. That has to be measured against also what were the opportunities, benefits, and programs and stuff which they inherited from the government before. Because one government would have set a kind of a trajectory economically for them to fall on and continue on. Mark Golden said when they left there was some kind of a foundation that was put in place between what PJ Patterson had done and what Portia Simpson Miller had done for them to get into that. Somehow, most of that, according to Mark, the gospel according to Mark, was not necessarily done. It said that there has been negative growth over the past 3 years. Anything else them tell you, and also go, a lie. That the economy has contracted. So there is no growth. These jobs that they talk about that is in the economy are some look a third-rated job where the people them get a free zone. But most of the young people them go there, some of them can't buy lunch because them pay them like $500 and $350 and $700 Jamaican per hour. Now you check the $500 Jamaican or the $350 Jamaican per hour, and you check what it means. $500 or $5 or $6 something US, and the $351 is mostly like about $3 or $4 US. So what are they giving to those young people? And everybody have to find a car, because young people want money and they want to buy a car. Some of them want to get further education. But the economy, because it is gradually stagnating like slow, like molasses, Because you know molasses is a very thick thing and it's slowly moving. Even if you hold it up to try to pour it, it moves very slowly before it can, you know, develop enough strength to pour and drop. And they're saying that the moving of the economy has been like molasses. And the growth that they talk about is a lie, is a mirage. And one of the things that was interestingly pointed out by Mark Golden is that what the government came to us and told us that there's no new taxes. Most governments have to raise taxes in one way or the other. But then when you have the economy, there's liquidity in the economy and moving and jobs are there and people are spending. Fine? And you can't have taxes. No, there has not been that kind of a movement in the economy and liquidity. So what they say? They come up with the things to say them now go raise the taxes to finance the budget. But one of the things them don't say to us is where the money are come from to fund the budget if it not come from taxes. And what they're doing, because they think they're smart, they take $11 billion annually from the National Housing Trust. Now, the National Housing Trust was developed and was built to build houses for poor people. The little man pan the handcart and the man pan the clap and bus. Provide them with the opportunity to be able to get, after they make the contribution, they can get a loan against them contribution. They don't have to go mortgage their son and then daughter, or the man wife go have to go mortgage herself a road at night time. They now have the opportunity to get a loan and over time work together as a family and build a house. And the government, the uncaring government, take $11 billion out of that to finance the capital expenditure and other things where they put in the budget. And not only that, they have mortgaged the future earnings that is to come, that money from the contract that them have with the people them who run the airport, because them have some multi-million-dollar arrangement with the airport, the people them who control the airport and JPSCO. Because remember them places don't belong to where again, you know. Because government don't know if know nothing good. Those places were contracted out. And they're supposed to pay the government a certain amount of revenue annually. And they have mortgaged the revenue which is to come to finance the budget today. So if you tell the man supposed to pay you next year or week near and year after next, they're supposed to give some 20 million or 30 million. You say to him, say, give me it in advance. No. So me can use it. And what them going to know is get into this vicious cycle whereby if every year for the next 5 years or 10 years, they are going to be mortgaging, they are going to be collecting. They are going to have to be collecting money from these people like JPS and other persons to finance the budget. What is happening is that they're mortgaging the future for the present, and still they are not be able to put in that money into any growth, because them have to use that money now to take care of daily expenses. And the challenging of the economy is that they're to deal with growth and development. So they get caught in a time warp and a whole heap of problems. The Prime Minister, therefore, now have a responsibility coming Thursday. When is that? Tomorrow or today? Today's Thursday? Yeah. This afternoon, the Prime Minister now have the responsibility to address the nation against the background of the presentation made by the opposition leader based upon his findings and his assessment. Plus, he also made some presentation about what a future PNP government and administration will do differently and better than what this current government and administration is doing. And they have given some indication of how it will be financed, but we still need to hear more from them, because their Minister of Finance also made a presentation but they're going to be making subsequent presentations down the line. And the various shadow ministers, as well as ministers of government, have the opportunity to make some presentation going forward about money that they're going to be spending and where the money will come from and how they're going to spend it and the improvement that they're supposed to be doing. Granted, the last time them said them are going to do things, and half of what them said not do it. Them not spend the money for it yet. We don't know if they find the money or where the money come from it, because some of these people where them owe it because your mortgage, you think on a future money, the money not necessarily come in on time. But there was a thing in the budget, 15 billion or 20 billion for the Ministry of Agriculture, 70 billion for the Ministry of Mining and Natural Resources, and how much billion for the Ministry of Health, and them get bill and them get trillions. And the Cornwall Regional Hospital, for example, which supposed to cost $5 billion, is now $25 billion. 5 to 25 under this administration. And everybody want to know where the money there. Where the money there. Because the hospital still not done yet. Cornwall Regional Hospital still not finished yet. Despite a chunk load of money spent. So, but it's a year of decision. And the people, we the people, have to make an assessment of performance of the government, not just what they say, but in actual fact make an assessment of what have been done based upon what they had said. So they said last year or the time for that, we are going to, and we intend to, and we will be. So we have to now look at what have been done, make an assessment of it, see how much of that, and when them come around for the campaign, call them out as to say, what did you do with the money where this is concerned, or how much of this was done, based upon what you had said. And use that as a measurement and an assessment as to whether or not you give them the opportunity to go forward again to govern the country one more time. Equally too, we have the responsibility to look at the government of the Peaceful National Party and say, okay, fine, when you were in office, these were some of the things that you had done and say you were going to do. And during opposition, no, because when you're there in opposition, it's always easy to talk. You're not in at the shaft that draw the cart. And vice versa. But with that now, we have the opportunity to see what the present opposition is going to put forward as to do as government if we decide now to give them the opportunity to become government. And when you make the assessment of the present government and look at the policies and plans of the upcoming government and see what failures they were in the present government and what future benefits they are in the PNP, then you can come to a conclusion and say, okay, what we will do, we'll either support the PNP or we're going to go back with the JLP because it look like them are going good. Or we're tired of the gimmickry, the brinkmanship, the manipulation, the confusion, the lie, and the corruption. Because never before, and I'm not here implying that some of the other PNP people never did corrupt, because none of them have hair growing at their hand. Very few of them come out of politics and go look a job. Virtual Whiteman is still working because he look at work. And he was a minister of government, but when he come out there, the man is clean. There was this man, Arnold Jack Smith, a couple other people, one or two people from the former JLP government, who was in power, and them come out there and them have a basic ordinary life and them don't really come out there with no wagga wagga. You have some of them go inside there and in one term of the administration, and after that them rich for life. Them rich for life. The government said and gave some indication that they're going to operate at a certain level of decency and transparency. And we don't see that. The Prime Minister gave some assurance to the nation, and I'll know none of those came through. What is disgraceful, and I've always said it, that the Prime Minister allow himself to be embroiled in a cesspool of corruption, speculation, assumption, and confusion. And when the head of the stream gets so mixed up and dirty, or alleged to be so mixed up and dirty, what do you expect the rest of the other ministers them to do? Because everybody, everybody that look like them as just a crap for themselves, and them a rush for themselves. We hope that if a PNP government go inside the office there, them don't just stay outside now and cuss the Labour Party, you know. But when they go inside there, from day one, they begin to set the example of decency and proper management of the economy, as they profess that they will do. Because we have a generation of young people now. Them not take no chat. They don't want in and no argument. What they want is work, money, and they want enough money. Whole heap of money in their pocket. All of them want a car. And they want to have one or two women. So whoever is going to run the government must understand that you're going to have to deal with the reality of what the new generation wants and how they perceive things, and provide for them and give them the opportunity that they can be able to grow, be educated, and can compete with the rest of the young people their style and in other countries of the Caribbean and across the world. Young people want it now. They want to get Bakra Masa, Impus, and the dog for themselves. And whichever company, whichever government decide to give them the opportunity to achieve that, that is the government that they're going to vote for. So, if you have relatives and friends in Jamaica, families, wives and husbands and boyfriends and girlfriends and sweetheart and all kind of heart, make sure that based upon your evaluation of the situation, you're going to now have to tell them how they must cast their vote. Advise them, help them to make a decision. Until I join you for next week, Thursday, when we'll be doing a special program on immigration from the Lauderhill complex. The Lauderhill City complex at 5554 Oakland Park Boulevard. Please come out and listen to Immigration Talk by Professor Andre from University of the West Indies Economics Department. We're going to have Mr. Ferguson, Mr. Lewis, and quite a number of other attorneys discussing the whole business of immigration. Tenny Miller saying, walk good and be good. See you next week, Thursday, at the Lauderhill complex for this particular program on immigration, how it affects you and affects the nation. Peace.
Welcome to Flexx TV, where we inspire, empower, educate, and entertain.
Stay tuned for Flexx TV News.